Every word you speak, every thought you entertain, and every emotion you carry is shaping the life you live right now. Your choices with time, energy, and money silently design your future. The truth is, most people drift through life unaware of this power. They blame circumstances, luck, or other people for their struggles, while overlooking the truth. Much of life is created through the way we use four forces: our mouth, our mind, our mood, and our money. Think about it. Your mouth, what you say, can open doors or shut them. It can build relationships or destroy them. Your mind, what you think, can create visions of success or traps of limitation. Your mood, the way you carry your emotions, can lift you forward or drag you down. And your money, the way you manage it, can make you free or keep you chained. This audiobook is your guide to mastering these four forces. Not with vague motivation, but with clear steps, powerful stories, and timeless principles. If you've ever felt stuck, lost, or limited, this is your chance to break free. A new version of you is waiting. The version that speaks with confidence, thinks with clarity, acts with discipline, and builds wealth with purpose. Let's begin with the first force, your mouth. Chapter 1. Control your mouth. The power of words. They say, words can build or words can break. And it's true. What comes out of your mouth is not just noise, it's the story you're writing about your life. Think about it. A single sentence can start a friendship, end a relationship, close a deal, or open an opportunity. Every argument, every negotiation, every act of encouragement, and every word of gossip has consequences. So here's the big truth. If you don't control your mouth will control your future. 1. The hidden power of words. Science shows that words influence not only others but also ourselves. When you say, "I can't do this," your brain starts searching for reasons why you can't. But when you say, "I'll figure this out," your brain looks for solutions. It's like programming your own mind. Positive words activate hope and possibility. Negative words activate doubt and fear. That's why successful people are intentional with their language. They speak life, not limitation. They use words to inspire, not to poison. 2. The 3 kinds of words that shape your life. Words to yourself. The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. This is your inner dialogue, your self-talk. If you constantly call yourself stupid, lazy, or unlucky, don't be surprised when your life reflects it. Instead, choose affirmations that empower: I am growing. I am capable. I deserve success. These aren't lies, they are seeds that grow into belief. Words to others. Every time you speak to another person, you're making a deposit or a withdrawal in the bank of trust. Encourage, uplift, and guide, and you'll see doors open. Gossip, criticize, or lie, and you'll see doors close. Ask yourself, when people hear me talk, do they feel lighter or heavier? Do I leave them hopeful or hopeless? Words about your future. Be careful what you declare about your future. Saying, "I'll never be rich," or "I'll always struggle," is like giving your destiny a command to stay small. Instead say, "I'm learning wealth, I'm growing in discipline, my best years are ahead." 3. Practical steps to control your mouth. Pause before you speak. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you must say it. Count to 3 before responding, especially when angry. A pause can save relationships. Replace complaints with gratitude. Instead of saying, "I hate my job," say, "This job is temporary, and I'm working on something better." Gratitude shifts your perspective. Build a habit of encouragement. Make it a daily goal to compliment or encourage at least 3 people. This will not only make them feel good, it will rewire your own attitude. Avoid gossip. Gossip is cheap talk that poisons trust. Refuse to participate. When you cut gossip, you cut negativity. 4. A story to remember. There was once a young man who constantly spoke negatively about himself. He would say, "I'm not smart, I'll never succeed." His mentor stopped him one day and said, "Do you know you're casting spells on yourself every time you speak? Your words are like seeds, and you're planting weeds in your own garden." That moment changed him. He began saying, "I'm learning, I'm growing, I'll find a way." Within years, his mindset shifted, his confidence grew, and opportunities began to appear. The truth is, nothing outside changed at first, only his words. But those words reshaped his reality. 5. Your challenge. For the next 7 days, monitor your words. Keep a journal. Write down one negative phrase you caught yourself saying, how you replaced it with a positive one, the difference you noticed in your energy. At the end of the week, you'll realize how powerful your words truly are. Closing thought for Chapter 1. Your mouth is a tool. You can use it to create life, or you can use it to destroy it. You can speak curses, or you can speak blessings. If you want to change your world, start by changing your words. Remember, your tongue is the pen that writes the story of your life. Choose your words wisely. Chapter 2. Control your mind. Mastering the inner dialogue. Your mind is the battlefield where every victory or defeat is first decided. Before you take action, before you open your mouth, before you even feel an emotion, it all begins with a thought. The problem is, most people let their minds run wild. They replay old failures, worry about the future, and feed on negativity from news, social media, and toxic conversations. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, anxious, or unmotivated. Here's the truth. Your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think possibilities, you'll create possibilities. If you think you're powerless, you'll act powerless. The good news? You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You have the power to choose, direct, and train your mind. Mastering your inner dialogue is the foundation of lasting success. 1. The 2 voices in your head. Inside every mind, there are 2 voices competing for control. The inner critic. This is the voice of doubt, fear, and limitation. It says, "You're not smart enough. You'll fail. People will laugh. Why even try?" This voice thrives on past mistakes and magnifies your insecurities. The inner coach. This is the voice of possibility, resilience, and wisdom. It says, "You can grow. You can learn. You can try again. You are stronger than you think." This voice sees challenges as opportunities. The question is not whether these voices exist. They both do. The real question is, which one are you feeding? 2. Thoughts create reality. Your mind is like a projector, and your life is the movie screen. Whatever you focus on inside your head will eventually play out in your reality. If you constantly picture failure, you'll find yourself sabotaging opportunities. If you imagine success, you'll act with more confidence and attract better outcomes. This isn't just motivational talk, it's neuroscience. Studies show that your brain cannot distinguish vividly imagined experiences from real ones. Athletes practice visualizations because the brain activates the same neural pathways as if they were physically performing. That's how powerful thoughts are. So when you repeatedly think, "I'm stuck," your brain builds a pathway for being stuck. But when you think, "I'm resourceful and I'll find a way," your brain begins to look for solutions. 3. Mental diet. What you feed your mind. Your thoughts don't appear out of thin air. They are shaped by what you feed your mind daily. If your diet consists of gossip, endless scrolling, negative news, and self-doubt, don't expect positive thinking to flourish. Garbage in, garbage out. But if you feed your mind with empowering books, uplifting conversations, moments of reflection, and purposeful silence, your inner dialogue will begin to shift naturally. Ask yourself, what's my mental diet? Am I feeding my fears or my future? 4. Practical steps to master your inner dialogue. Step 1. Catch your thoughts. The first step is awareness. Throughout the day, pause and ask, what am I thinking right now? Write down the top 3 recurring thoughts you've noticed this week. Are they empowering or limiting? Step 2. Question the critic. When your inner critic says, you can't do this, don't just accept it. Ask, is this absolutely true? Or is this fear pretending to be truth? Most of the time, your critic is just repeating old lies. Challenge it. Step 3. Replace with power statements. Instead of, I can't handle this, say, I can handle this one step at a time. Instead of, I always fail, say, I'm learning and improving. This isn't about fake positivity. It's about rewiring your brain with truth and possibility. Step 4. Visualize the desired outcome. Close your eyes and see yourself succeeding. See yourself speaking with confidence, solving problems, or achieving goals. Visualization programs your mind to act in alignment with success. Step 5. Create a morning mind ritual. The first 10 minutes after you wake up set the tone for your entire day. Instead of grabbing your phone, try this ritual. Affirm 3 truths about yourself. Visualize one win you want to experience today. Breathe deeply for a moment of calm focus. Do this daily, and you'll notice your inner dialogue shift toward strength and clarity. 5. A story of transformation. Let me share a story. There was a young woman named Aisha. 4 years, her mind was her biggest enemy. Every time she thought about starting a business, her inner critic whispered, you're not smart enough. You'll fail. Stay safe. She listened to that voice for years, and her dreams stayed locked inside her. One day, a mentor told her, you have to stop listening to your inner critic and start training your inner coach. Every time the critic speaks, replace it with a statement of growth. So Aisha tried it. When her mind said, you'll fail, she answered, I'll learn. When it said, people will laugh, she replied, people will also learn from my courage. Slowly, her inner dialogue began to change. Within months, she started her business. Was it perfect? No. But she had shifted from paralysis to progress, simply by mastering her inner dialogue. Her story proves a powerful truth. Your outer world will not change until your inner world changes first. 6. Guarding the gates of your mind. It's not enough to just practice positive thoughts. You also need to protect your mind from negativity. Imagine your mind as a garden. You can plant beautiful seeds of confidence, but if you allow weeds of fear and doubt to grow unchecked, they will choke your progress. Here are 3 gates to guard. The content you consume. Choose wisely what you read, watch, and listen to. Does it inspire growth or feed fear? The people you surround yourself with. Some people lift your thinking higher, others drag it down. Protect your circle. The words you speak. Remember from Chapter 1, what you say reinforces what you think. Speak words that strengthen your mind. 7. Your challenge. For the next 7 days, run a mental detox. Here's how. Limit your exposure to negative news and toxic social media. Read or listen to 15 minutes of something inspiring daily. Write down one recurring negative thought and reframe it into a positive truth. At the end of the week, reflect on how your energy, mood, and focus have shifted. You'll realize you are not a prisoner of your thoughts. You are the master. Closing thought for Chapter 2. Your mind is the command center of your life. Whatever dominates your thoughts will dominate your choices, your emotions, and your destiny. Remember this. You cannot control every thought that enters your mind, but you can control which ones you allow to stay. Feed your inner coach. Starve your inner critic. Train your thoughts to align with your vision. Because once you master your inner dialogue, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Chapter 3. Control your mood. turning emotions into strength. Life isn't just about what you think, it's about how you feel. Your mood colors every experience. Two people can go through the same event. One walks away discouraged, the other walks away motivated. The difference isn't the event itself. The difference is the way their emotions shaped the meaning. Emotions are powerful. They can push you forward with energy, passion, and courage, or they can hold you back with fear, anger, and discouragement. The challenge is that most people live as slaves to their emotions. If they wake up tired, the whole day feels ruined. If someone criticizes them, their confidence collapses. If things don't go as planned, they sink into frustration. But here's the truth. You don't have to be controlled by your emotions. You can control your mood. You can feel emotions without being mastered by them. And when you learn this skill, you'll unlock a new level of strength, resilience, and freedom. 1. Emotions are messengers. First, let's understand something important. Emotions are not your enemy. They are messengers. They show up to tell you something. Fear says, pay attention, something feels unsafe. Anger says, something feels unfair or violated. Sadness says, something valuable was lost. Joy says, this aligns with what you love. The problem isn't the emotion itself, it's staying stuck in it or letting it dictate your choices. Imagine emotions as guests knocking at your door. You should acknowledge them, but you don't have to let them move in, rearrange the furniture, and run your house. 2. Mood versus emotion. Let's make a distinction. An emotion is a temporary feeling. Fear, anger, joy, sadness. A mood is when you hold on to that emotion and let it become your atmosphere. Example: you feel angry for 5 minutes. That's an emotion. You stay angry all day, snapping at everyone. That's a mood. When you control your mood, you stop a temporary emotion from becoming your permanent environment. 3. The power of emotional awareness. You can't control what you don't notice. Emotional awareness is the ability to pause and say, what am I feeling right now, and why? Most people react without thinking. They feel anger, and they explode. They feel sadness, and they withdraw. They feel fear, and they quit. But if you pause and name the emotion, you create space between feeling and action. You say, I'm feeling nervous right now. Why? Because I have a big meeting. But that doesn't mean I can't do it. That pause gives you power. 4. Practical steps to control your mood. Step 1. Name it to tame it. Psychologists say when you label an emotion, its intensity decreases. Instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, say, I'm feeling stress. Naming it reminds you it's just a feeling, not your identity. Step 2. Change your physiology. Emotions live in the body. If you're slouched, shallow breathing, and tense, you'll feel low energy. If you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with purpose, your mood will shift. Try it right now. Straighten your posture, take a deep breath, and feel the difference. Step 3. Reframe the meaning. Your mood is shaped by the meaning you assign to events. If someone criticizes you, you can think, they hate me, or you can think, this is feedback to grow. Same event, different mood. Step 4. Use emotional anchors. Music, memories, or simple habits can act as anchors to shift your mood. A song that inspires you, a note of gratitude, or even a quick walk outside can change your state within minutes. Step 5. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift mood. When you focus on what's wrong, your mood sinks. When you focus on what's right, your mood rises. Make it a habit to write down 3 things you're grateful for daily. 5. A story of mood mastery. Let me tell you about a man named Carlos. Carlos worked in sales, and his income depended on his energy and confidence. But he struggled with rejection. After a potential client said, "No, he'd sink into a bad mood that lasted all day. That mood affected his next calls, and he'd collect more rejections. One day, a coach told him, "You can't control the client's answer, but you can control your mood." When rejection happens, don't take it personally. See it as practice, as a step closer to the next yes. Carlos started practicing. Whenever he felt disappointment, he would say out loud, "This is a lesson, not a loss." He'd play a song that lifted his energy, stand tall, and reset his state before the next call. Within months, his sales doubled. Not because the world changed, but because his mood changed. 6. The mood-performance connection. Your mood impacts everything. Your work performance. A positive mood makes you more creative and focused. Your relationships. A bad mood pushes people away. A calm mood builds trust. Your health. Negative moods raise stress hormones, while positive moods boost immunity. Think about it. How many opportunities have you lost simply because you were in the wrong mood? And how many breakthroughs happened when you chose to stay calm, confident, and hopeful? 7. Guarding your emotional energy. Just like you guard your mind's input, you must guard your emotional energy. Ask yourself, who drains my energy, and who fuels it? What habits make me feel heavy, and what habits lift me? What environments lower my mood, and which ones strengthen it? Surround yourself with people and practices that raise your emotional energy. 8. Your challenge. Here's your 7-day mood challenge. Morning reset. Start each morning with 2 minutes of deep breathing, 1 positive affirmation, and 1 gratitude statement. Check in 3 times a day. Pause and ask, what mood am I in right now? Is it helping or hurting me? Shift practice. When you notice a negative mood, use one tool, music, movement, gratitude, or reframing, to shift it within 10 minutes. Write down your results. You'll begin to notice patterns, certain triggers that pull you down, and certain tools that lift you up. Closing thought for Chapter 3. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not the boss of you. You are the one in charge. Feel them, acknowledge them, but don't let them run your life. Remember this, your mood is the atmosphere you create for your life. Make it sunny, even on cloudy days. Make it strong, even when the storm comes. When you learn to control your mood, you stop being a prisoner of your feelings and become a master of your state. That mastery makes you unshakable in a world full of challenges. Chapter 4. Control your money. Building wealth with purpose. Money. It's one of the most misunderstood forces in life. For some, it's a source of stress. For others, a measure of success. Some avoid it, thinking it's evil. Others chase it desperately, thinking it's the answer to everything. But here's the truth. Money is not evil, and it's not everything. It's simply a tool. Like a hammer, it can build or it can destroy, depending on how you use it. When you control your money with discipline and purpose, it becomes a tool for freedom, opportunity, and impact. But if money controls you, it becomes a trap of debt, stress, and regret. So let's explore how to master this final cornerstone, so your finances align with the life you truly want to live. 1. Money is a mirror. Money doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you are. If you're careless, more money will just make you carelessly broke on a bigger scale. If you're disciplined, more money will amplify your discipline into wealth and generosity. That's why controlling your money begins not with numbers, but with mindset. You must decide, am I the master of money or its servant? 2. The 4 lies about money. Many people are trapped because they believe lies about money. Let's break them down. Lie 1, money is evil. No. Greed is evil. Corruption is evil. Money is neutral. It just magnifies the heart of the one holding it. Lie 2, money will solve all my problems. It won't. Money can solve money problems, but it cannot fix a broken character or heal emptiness. Those are inner battles. Lie 3. I'll start managing money when I have more. Wrong. If you can't manage $100, you won't manage $10,000. Discipline starts small. Lie 4. Rich people are lucky. Some may be, but most built wealth through discipline, patience, and decisions repeated daily. When you replace these lies with truth, you shift from fear or fantasy into purpose and control. 3. The 3 levels of money mastery. There are 3 levels of controlling your money. Survival, you live paycheck to paycheck. Money comes in, money goes out. Stress is constant. Stability, you manage expenses, save consistently, and live within your means. You're no longer drowning, you're floating. Success and significance, you not only build wealth but also use it with purpose, to create freedom, security, and positive impact. Where are you right now? The good news is, no matter your starting point, discipline can move you upward. 4. Practical steps to control your money. Step 1. Track every dollar. What you don't measure, you can't manage. For 30 days, write down every rupee, every dollar, every coin you spend. This will shock you into awareness. Suddenly you'll see the hidden leaks, unnecessary subscriptions, impulse buys, endless coffees. Step 2. Build a budget that reflects your values. A budget isn't a punishment, it's a plan for your future. Decide what percentage goes to needs, savings, investments, and generosity. Then stick to it. Remember, every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you want. Step 3. Kill debt before it kills you. Debt is financial slavery. If you're carrying credit card balances or loans that drain you, make eliminating them a priority. Create a debt snowball. Start with the smallest, pay it off, then move to the next. Each victory fuels momentum. Step 4. Pay yourself first. Most people spend first and save what's left, which is usually nothing. Wealth builders save first and spend what's left. Even if it's 10% of your income, make saving non-negotiable. Step 5. Invest in growth. Don't just save, invest. Put money in assets that grow over time. Stocks, businesses, real estate, or even courses that increase your skills. Remember, money sitting idle loses value. Money working multiplies. Step 6. Practice generosity. It may sound counterintuitive, but giving is part of financial freedom. When you give, even a small portion, you train yourself to master money instead of being mastered by it. Generosity creates flow, not fear. 5. A story of financial discipline. Let me share a story of a man named Raj. Raj was a high earner. His friends admired his car, his clothes, his lifestyle. But behind the scenes, he was drowning in debt. His mood depended on his paycheck. He worked long hours, but peace never came. One day, his mentor asked him, "Raj, do you own your money, or does your money own you?" That question hit him hard. He realized he wasn't in control. He was just a slave to spending. So Raj made a change. He tracked every expense, cut unnecessary luxuries, and started paying off his debt one loan at a time. Instead of chasing status, he chased stability. Years later, Raj was not only debt-free, but he had built savings, investments, and even started a foundation to help underprivileged students. His peace didn't come from having more money, it came from mastering it. 6. The connection between money and freedom. Money, when controlled, creates choices. Choices give you freedom. Freedom to spend time with family instead of working 3 jobs. Freedom to say no to toxic work environments. Freedom to pursue your dreams instead of surviving paycheck to paycheck. Freedom to give generously without fear of lack. But that freedom only comes when you are disciplined. Without control, money will control you through debt, stress, and endless chasing. 7. Guarding against the traps. As you grow financially, be careful of these traps. Comparison. Don't measure your worth by someone else's lifestyle. Their story is different. Lifestyle inflation. Just because you earn more doesn't mean you should spend more. Let your wealth grow quietly. Get-rich-quick schemes. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Build wealth slowly and wisely. 8. Your challenge. For the next 30 days, practice the Money Control Challenge. Track every expense. Save at least 10% of your income before spending. Cut one unnecessary expense. Make one act of generosity. At the end of the month, reflect. How much more peace do you feel knowing you are in control? Closing thought for Chapter 4. Money is not the goal, it is the tool. Your true wealth is not measured by the car you drive or the clothes you wear, but by the freedom, peace, and impact you create with the money you control. Remember this: if you master your money, you can build your future. If money masters you, you'll always remain trapped. The choice is yours. Chapter 5. The Discipline of Habits. Building Lasting Control. Think about this for a moment. Most of what you do every single day isn't the result of conscious decision-making. It's habit. The way you brush your teeth, check your phone, spend money, speak to others, or even react when stressed, these are mostly automatic. Habits are powerful because they don't ask for permission. They run in the background, shaping your destiny silently. Which means this: your success is hidden in your daily habits. You can know how to control your mouth, mind, mood, and money, but without disciplined habits, it won't last. Knowledge without habits fades. But when you build systems of control, they carry you forward even on the days when motivation is low. So, in this chapter, we'll dive into the discipline of habits, the bridge between intention and transformation. 1. Why habits matter more than motivation. Motivation is great, but it's inconsistent. Some mornings you'll wake up inspired, other mornings you'll feel tired and heavy. If your life depends on motivation alone, you'll always be inconsistent. Habits, on the other hand, don't depend on feelings. They run automatically. When you brush your teeth, you don't think about it. It's a habit. Imagine if controlling your thoughts, saving money, or speaking with discipline became as automatic as brushing your teeth. That's the power of habits. 2. The habit loop. Psychologists talk about the habit loop, a cycle of cue, routine, reward. Cue. Something triggers the habit: waking up, feeling stressed, finishing a task. Routine. The behavior you repeat: scrolling social media, exercising, eating, journaling. Reward. The feeling that follows: pleasure, relief, satisfaction. To change your habits, you don't fight willpower. You adjust the loop. You can keep the same cue, replace the routine, and still enjoy a reward. Example: instead of grabbing junk food when stressed, cue, stress, routine, eating chips, reward, comfort, replace it with a walk or deep breathing, routine, that gives the same reward of relief. 3. Small habits, big results. Most people fail at change because they try to overhaul everything at once. They make huge resolutions: I'll never eat sugar again. I'll save half my income. I'll work out every day. These extreme changes collapse within weeks. True transformation comes from small, consistent habits compounded over time. Want to control your mouth? Start by committing to one encouraging word a day. Want to control your mind? Read or journal for 5 minutes daily. Want to control your mood? Practice 2 minutes of gratitude every morning. Want to control your money? Save just 5% before you spend. It's not about big leaps. It's about small steps repeated until they become automatic. 4. Keystone habits. Not all habits are equal. Some habits, called keystone habits, create ripple effects across your whole life. Exercise improves mood, energy, discipline, and even money decisions. Journaling clarifies thoughts, calms emotions, strengthens focus. Saving consistently builds security, reduces stress, increases confidence. Speaking gratitude improves relationships, mood, and even health. If you want maximum results, start with one keystone habit. Master it, and watch how it spills over into every area. 5. The power of environment. Your habits don't only depend on willpower, they depend on environment. If you want to change, don't just change yourself, change your surroundings. Want to eat healthier? Remove junk food from your house. Want to save money? Delete shopping apps from your phone. Want to control your mood? Surround yourself with people who lift you. Want to think positively? Limit negative news and social media. Design your environment so that good habits are easy and bad habits are hard. 6. A story of habit transformation. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya always struggled with her mood and money. She spent impulsively when stressed, then felt guilty afterward. She tried to just stop, but nothing worked. One day, she learned about keystone habits. She decided to start with journaling every night for 10 minutes. At first, it felt simple, even silly. But within weeks, something changed. Writing helped her release stress, which reduced her impulse spending. She began noticing patterns in her thoughts and moods, which helped her gain control. Later, she added a morning gratitude routine. Soon, her whole lifestyle improved, not because she changed everything at once, but because she changed one habit that created a chain reaction. 7. Practical steps to build strong habits. Step 1. Choose one area. Pick the area where you struggle most, mouth, mind, mood, or money, and identify one small habit you can build. Step 2. Anchor it to an existing habit. Don't try to invent new routines from scratch. Attach them to something you already do. Example: after brushing your teeth, existing habit, say one positive affirmation, new habit. Step 3. Make it so small you can't fail. Instead of saying, "I'll save $500 a month," start with $20. Instead of, "I'll work out an hour a day," start with 5 minutes. Success fuels consistency. Step 4. Reward yourself. Give your brain a reason to enjoy the new habit. Celebrate progress, track streaks, or even give yourself a small reward for sticking to it. Step 5. Track and reflect. Write down your progress. Reflection reinforces your growth and keeps you motivated. 8. Breaking bad habits. To break a bad habit, reverse the habit loop. Make the cue invisible. Remove triggers. Make the routine difficult. Add friction. Make the reward unsatisfying. Remind yourself of the negative consequences. Example: if overspending is your habit, delete shopping apps, remove cue, freeze your cards, add friction, and remind yourself how debt steals your peace. Remove reward. 9. Your challenge. This week, choose one keystone habit to build. Write it down. Anchor it to an existing habit. Practice it for 7 days without fail. At the end of the week, reflect. How did this habit affect other areas of your life? Did it make controlling your mouth, mind, mood, or money easier? You'll be surprised how one small change can create a ripple effect. Closing thought for Chapter 5. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about systems. Motivation may start the journey, but habits sustain it. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Build habits that align with the life you want, and they will carry you forward automatically. Chapter 6. The Power of Self-Discipline. Doing what you must, even when you don't feel like it. There's a moment we all face in life. The alarm rings early in the morning, and we don't feel like getting up. The project deadline is looming, but scrolling through social media feels easier. You know you should save the money, but that instant purchase looks tempting. In that moment, What determines your future is not talent, not luck, not even motivation. It's self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. It is the secret that separates the average from the extraordinary, the dreamers from the achievers. 1. Discipline is freedom. At first, self-discipline feels like restriction. Waking up early when you'd rather sleep. Saying no to unhealthy food. Controlling your words when you want to snap back. But here's the paradox. Discipline is not restriction. It is freedom. When you discipline your mouth, you earn the freedom of respect and trust. When you discipline your mind, you earn the freedom of clarity. When you discipline your mood, you earn the freedom of peace. When you discipline your money, you earn the freedom of choice. The undisciplined life looks free but ends up in chaos, broken relationships, poor health, financial stress, and mental clutter. The disciplined life feels tough at first but unlocks true freedom. 2. Motivation versus discipline. We live in a world obsessed with motivation. Quotes, speeches, videos that hype you up. But here's the truth. Motivation gets you started, discipline keeps you going. Motivation is the spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation whispers, I feel like doing this today. Discipline says, I'll do it anyway. When you rely on motivation alone, you'll quit the moment feelings fade. But when you rely on discipline, you build consistency, and consistency creates results. 3. The formula of self-discipline. Self-discipline can be broken down into 3 elements. Clarity. Know exactly what you want and why it matters. Commitment. Make a firm decision that you will follow through. Consistency. Show up daily, regardless of emotions. Think of discipline like building a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. 4. Stories of self-discipline. The athlete. Elite athletes don't wake up every day excited to train. Many mornings, they're sore, tired, or unmotivated. But discipline pulls them to the gym. That consistent practice makes them champions. The investor. Consider Warren Buffett. He didn't build wealth overnight. His discipline to invest consistently, avoid unnecessary spending, and stay patient turned him into one of the richest men in history. The ordinary person. And let's not forget people like Sarah, a working mother who wanted to write a book. With little free time, she disciplined herself to wake up 30 minutes earlier each day. A year later, her book was finished. Not because she had more talent than others, but because she had more discipline. 5. The enemy of discipline. Instant gratification. The biggest threat to self-discipline is the lure of instant gratification, the desire for quick pleasure instead of long-term gain. It's the decision to binge-watch instead of study, to buy new shoes instead of saving for a house, to lash out instead of holding your tongue. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification, to sacrifice the comfort of now for the reward of later. Every time you choose long-term gain over short-term pleasure, you strengthen your discipline muscle. 6. Training your discipline. How do you build this power? Here are practical steps. Step 1. Start small. Discipline is like lifting weights. You don't begin with 200 pounds. Start with something manageable. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Save $10 a week. Practice one kind word daily. Step 2. Remove temptations. Discipline is easier when you don't have to fight constant battles. If you want to eat healthy, don't stock your house with junk. If you want to save money, set up automatic transfers. Step 3. Practice daily wins. Discipline grows through repetition. Make your bed. Stick to a schedule. Keep promises to yourself. These small victories build confidence and momentum. Step 4. Embrace discomfort. Discipline thrives in discomfort. Learn to push past that moment when you want to quit. Each time you do, you expand your capacity. Step 5. Remember your why. Discipline without purpose feels like punishment. Discipline with purpose feels like empowerment. Always connect your actions to your deeper vision. 7. Emotional discipline. Self-discipline isn't only about actions, it's also about emotions. It's easy to react when angry, to complain when discouraged, or to give up when afraid. But discipline means holding steady, breathing deeply, and responding with wisdom. Emotional discipline is the difference between leaders and followers. Leaders don't let emotions control them. They acknowledge feelings but act on principles. 8. Self-discipline in the 4 areas. Let's tie this back to our 4 cornerstones. Mouth. Discipline means pausing before speaking, choosing words that align with your values. Mind. Discipline means focusing on positive, productive thoughts instead of letting your mind wander aimlessly. Mood. Discipline means managing emotions instead of letting them control your behavior. Money. Discipline means sticking to your financial plan, even when temptation arises. In each of these areas, discipline turns knowledge into mastery. 9. A challenge for you. For the next 7 days, choose one act of discipline to practice daily. It might be waking up at the same time, saving a set amount of money, writing in a journal, speaking one word of encouragement daily. Track your progress. Each small victory is a brick in the foundation of your self-discipline. 10. Closing thought. Here's the truth. Discipline is destiny. Every great life is built on self-discipline. It's not glamorous, and it's not always easy, but it's always worth it. The people you admire most, the leaders, the creators, the builders, they're not superhuman. They're simply disciplined. They chose long-term gain over short-term comfort. And you can do the same. Remember, you don't need to feel like it. You just need to do it. Feelings follow actions. Discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. Chapter 7. The Art of Focus. Eliminating distractions and directing your energy. Imagine trying to light a fire with sunlight. If you spread the rays across a wide surface, nothing happens. But take a magnifying glass, narrow those rays into a single point, and suddenly, you can ignite a flame. That's what focus does for your life. Focus is the magnifying glass of success. Without it, your time, energy, and potential scatter in 1,000 directions, leaving you busy but unproductive. With it, you direct your energy toward what truly matters, and the results multiply. In today's noisy world, where notifications, obligations, and temptations scream for attention, focus has become a rare superpower. And in this chapter, you'll learn how to sharpen that superpower, eliminate distractions, and channel your energy into meaningful results. 1. The cost of distraction. We often underestimate how much distractions steal from us. Every time you check your phone in the middle of work, it takes an average of 23 minutes for your brain to fully regain focus. Multiply that by dozens of interruptions daily, and you'll see why so many people feel stuck. Distractions don't just waste time, they waste life. They dilute your progress, drain your willpower, and leave you frustrated at the end of the day, wondering, where did all my time go? Here's the truth. A distracted life is an unfulfilled life. 2. Focus is energy management. Focus isn't just about time, it's about energy. You can spend 8 hours working, but if your energy is scattered, the results are minimal. Meanwhile, 2 hours of deep, focused effort can accomplish more than an entire distracted day. Think of your energy like a battery. Every distraction is an app running in the background, draining power. Focus means closing the apps you don't need, so your energy flows into the task that matters most. 3. The myth of multitasking. Many people pride themselves on multitasking, answering emails while in meetings, scrolling social media while studying, juggling 3 projects at once. But here's the truth. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain can't fully focus on two complex tasks at the same time. Instead, it switches rapidly between them, creating attention residue that weakens performance. In other words, multitasking makes you slower, less accurate, and more stressed. Greatness doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing one thing well. 4. The power of single tasking. Single tasking is the discipline of giving your full attention to one thing at a time. It sounds simple, but in today's distraction-driven world, it's revolutionary. When you single task, your brain enters a state of flow. You complete tasks faster with higher quality. You feel more satisfied and less overwhelmed. Ask yourself, what's the one thing that, if I did it today with full focus, would make the biggest difference? Start there. 5. The 80-20 principle of focus. The Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, states that 80% of results often come from 20% of efforts. In your work, relationships, and finances, a small portion of actions create the majority of outcomes. Focus means identifying that 20% and doubling down on it. Instead of trying to do everything, ask, which activities bring the most growth? Which people bring the most value? Which habits produce the most progress? Then cut back on the rest. 6. Eliminate to elevate. To focus, you don't just add discipline, you subtract distractions. Ask yourself, what's stealing my time? Endless scrolling? Negative people? Pointless commitments? What's stealing my energy? Toxic environments? Overthinking? Late nights? What's stealing my money? Impulse spending? Subscriptions you don't use? Sometimes the best way to sharpen your focus is not by doing more, but by doing less. Simplify your schedule, your environment, and even your relationships. Clarity grows where clutter shrinks. 7. Guarding your attention. Think of your attention as currency. Every day, companies, advertisers, and apps compete to buy it. The question is, are you giving your attention away cheaply, or are you investing it wisely? Practical ways to guard your attention. Turn off non-essential notifications. Set specific times for checking messages. Use apps that block distractions while working. Create a daily focus zone, a set block of time where you work on your most important task without interruption. Your attention is your life. Spend it on what matters. 8. The role of environment in focus. Your environment shapes your focus more than you think. If your desk is cluttered, your mind feels cluttered. If your phone is within reach, you'll touch it. If people around you are noisy, your brain will split attention. Design your environment for focus. Keep your workspace clean and minimal. Place your phone in another room while working. Surround yourself with people who respect focus and discipline. Make distractions invisible, and focus becomes natural. 9. The story of deep focus. Let me share the story of Arjun. Arjun was a talented graphic designer, but he constantly struggled to finish projects. He'd start strong but get lost in distractions, emails, messages, random browsing. Deadlines stressed him out. One day, he committed to practicing deep focus. He began working in 90-minute blocks, phone in another room, all notifications off. The first week was difficult. His mind craved distractions. But soon, he entered a state of flow, creating better designs in less time. Within months, his productivity doubled. Clients noticed. His income rose. But more importantly, he felt in control. Not because he worked harder, but because he worked with focus. 10. Practical steps to master focus. Here's a step-by-step guide to sharpen your focus. Define your one thing. Each day, identify the single most important task. Block distractions. Silence your phone, close unnecessary tabs, and clear your workspace. Work in intervals. Use techniques like the Pomodoro, 25 to 50 minutes focus, 5 to 10 minutes rest, to keep energy sharp. Protect your mornings. Do your most important work early, before distractions pile up. Review and reflect. At the end of the day, ask, did I focus on what mattered, or did I get lost in noise? 11. Your Focus Challenge. For the next 7 days, practice a daily focus zone. Choose 1 hour a day for your most important work. Phone away, notifications off, deep focus only. At the end of the week, reflect. Did I accomplish more in that 1 hour than in several scattered hours before? The answer will likely surprise you. 12. Closing thought. Here's the truth. What you focus on expands. Focus is not just about productivity, it's about identity. If you focus on problems, problems grow. If you focus on possibilities, opportunities grow. If you focus on discipline, strength grows. Your mouth, mind, mood, and money all depend on focus. Because focus directs your energy, and your energy shapes your destiny. So guard it fiercely, aim it wisely, and watch how your life transforms. Chapter 8. The Influence of Environment. Surrounding yourself with growth. There's a simple truth about human behavior. We rise or fall to the level of our environment. Think about it. A plant doesn't grow because it tries harder. It grows because of sunlight, soil, and water. In the same way, your growth is deeply shaped by the people you're around, the places you spend time, and the influences you let into your mind. You might have strong discipline and sharp focus, but if your environment constantly pulls you down, progress will feel like swimming against the current. On the other hand, when your environment supports growth, success feels natural. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of environment, how it silently shapes your mouth, mind, mood, and money, and most importantly, how you can design an environment that lifts you higher. 1. Environment always wins. Here's the hard truth. Willpower is weak compared to environment. You may have the best intentions, but if your surroundings are filled with temptations, negativity, or distractions, eventually environment wins. Try eating healthy with cookies on the counter. You'll give in. Try focusing with a noisy TV in the background. You'll lose track. Try staying positive around constant complainers. You'll absorb their energy. But the reverse is also true. If your fridge is stocked with clean food, healthy eating becomes natural. If your desk is clear and phone out of reach, focus becomes easy. If you spend time with encouraging people, your mood lifts automatically. The secret isn't just willpower. It's environment design. 2. The social environment. People shape you. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's reality. Your circle influences your thoughts, your habits, even your income. If your friends complain, gossip, or waste time, you'll drift in that direction. If they're disciplined, positive, and growth-minded, you'll rise with them. Ask yourself, who do I spend most of my time with? Do they challenge me to grow or pull me down? If I keep this circle for the next 5 years, where will I end up? Sometimes growth requires tough choices, distancing yourself from people who limit you and seeking out people who inspire you. 3. The physical environment. Spaces matter. Your surroundings affect your behavior more than you realize. A cluttered room creates a cluttered mind. A chaotic workspace invites distraction. On the other hand, a clean, organized space encourages clarity and peace. A designated focus zone helps your brain enter work mode. Even simple changes, better lighting, a comfortable chair, a few motivational quotes, can transform productivity. Think of your environment as a silent coach. It either whispers, "Stay sharp, stay focused," or it tempts you with laziness and distraction. 4. The mental environment. Inputs shape outputs. Your environment isn't just physical, it's also mental. The books you read, the shows you watch, the content you consume, all shape your thoughts and emotions. Garbage in, garbage out. But wisdom in, wisdom out. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, violent shows, toxic news, endless gossip, you'll feel anxious and pessimistic. If you feed it with knowledge, positivity, and inspiration, you'll naturally think bigger, act bolder, and feel stronger. What you allow in is what comes out. Guard your inputs carefully. 5. Stories of environmental shifts. The power of peers. Daniel was an average student who hung out with friends that skipped class. He didn't think much of it until he switched schools and suddenly found himself surrounded by ambitious, hard-working classmates. Within a year, his grades shot up, not because he became smarter overnight, but because his environment raised his standards. The power of place. Priya worked from home but always struggled with procrastination. One day, she tried working in a quiet library. The focused atmosphere changed everything. Her productivity doubled. She realized it wasn't her laziness holding her back, it was her environment. The power of input. James spent hours each night scrolling through negative news and rant-filled posts. His mood was constantly low. When he replaced that habit with reading 20 minutes of personal growth books, his outlook shifted dramatically. His environment of ideas changed his environment of emotions. 6. Designing an environment for growth. If you want to control your mouth, mind, mood, and money, design an environment that makes good choices easy and bad choices hard. Here's how. For your mouth. Spend time with respectful communicators. Avoid gossip circles. Place reminders of positive language where you can see them. For your mind. Curate your media diet. Subscribe to uplifting podcasts, read challenging books, and unfollow negativity online. For your mood. Surround yourself with supportive, joyful people. Play music that energizes you. Keep a gratitude journal visible. For your money. Automate savings, unsubscribe from tempting ads, and keep financial goals where you can see them daily. Your environment should push you toward the life you want, not pull you back to the one you're leaving behind. 7. Practical steps to upgrade your environment. Audit your circle. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do they represent the future you want? Clear your space. Clean one area today. Your desk, your room, your digital files. Clarity in space equals clarity in mind. Control your inputs. Replace 30 minutes of negative scrolling with 30 minutes of growth content daily. Create growth triggers. Place visual cues around you. A water bottle to encourage hydration, a book on your pillow to remind you to read, a piggy bank on your desk to remind you to save. Seek growth environments. Join groups, communities, or events where people are striving for more. Energy is contagious. 8. A challenge for you. This week, choose one environmental shift to make. It could be spending less time with a negative influence, rearranging your workspace for clarity, replacing TV time with reading time, joining a growth community online or offline. Track how this single shift affects your mouth, mind, mood, or money. 9. Closing thought. Here's the truth. You don't grow alone. You grow in environments that support growth. If you surround yourself with negativity, chaos, and distractions, your progress will always feel heavy. But if you place yourself in environments of clarity, positivity, and discipline, growth becomes natural. Your environment is the soil. You are the seed. And the soil you choose determines the fruit you produce. So choose wisely. Build wisely. And remember, the right environment will do half the work for you. Chapter 9. The Value of Time. Mastering the clock before it masters you. If money is precious, time is priceless. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and regain it with rest. But time? Once it's gone forever. Every tick of the clock is a piece of your life you'll never get back. The way you use your time determines the life you live. In fact, your mouth, mind, mood, and money are all directly linked to how you spend your hours. Yet most people live as though time is unlimited. They waste it, kill it, or let others steal it, forgetting that it's their most valuable resource. In this chapter, we'll explore how to take control of your time, to stop wasting it, to invest it wisely, and to create a life where your minutes add up to meaning. 1. The illusion of later. Have you ever said, "I'll do it later"? Later feels safe. Later feels abundant. But later is an illusion. Opportunities don't wait forever. Relationships don't wait forever. Health doesn't wait forever. Every time you postpone what matters, you trade it for something less important. The truth is, later is where dreams go to die. The disciplined life is about doing what matters now. Not next week, not someday, now. Because someday is not a day on the calendar. 2. Time is life in disguise. Think of time as life disguised in minutes and hours. When you say, "I don't have time," what you're really saying is, "I don't want to use my life on this." This shifts everything. Suddenly, scrolling for an hour isn't just killing time, it's spending an hour of your life. Watching 3 hours of meaningless shows isn't just entertainment, it's 3 hours of your existence gone. When you see time as life, you treat it with more respect. 3. The power of priorities. Not everything is equally important. Some tasks move your life forward. Others just keep you busy. Successful people don't do more. They prioritize more. They ask, "What's essential? What has long-term impact? What aligns with my values?" Then they focus their time there. Everything else becomes secondary. Busyness is not productivity. Filling your calendar doesn't equal progress. True productivity is doing less, but doing the right things. 4. The 1440 rule. Each day gives you 1440 minutes. That's your entire budget. You can't borrow from tomorrow. You can't add more. You only choose how to spend today's 1440. Would you waste $1,440 if someone handed it to you each morning? Of course not. But people waste 1440 minutes daily, scrolling, complaining, procrastinating. Guard your minutes the way you'd guard money. They are even more valuable. 5. Common time traps. Let's expose the biggest thieves of time. Distractions, notifications, gossip, endless browsing, procrastination, waiting for the perfect time that never comes. People-pleasing, saying yes to everything and everyone. Lack of planning, living reactively instead of intentionally. Every trap drains not only time but also energy, clarity, and opportunity. 6. The power of planning. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Time, left unmanaged, slips through your fingers. But when you plan it, you direct it. Simple practices to master planning. Daily planning. Write down the top 3 things you must accomplish today. Do them first. Weekly planning. On Sundays, set priorities for the week. Schedule them into your calendar. Monthly reflection. Look back at what used your time. Did it align with your goals, or did it get wasted? A few minutes of planning saves hours of drifting. 7. The principle of time blocking. Time blocking is one of the most effective tools for mastering the clock. Instead of leaving your day open to randomness, you assign blocks of time for specific tasks. Morning block, deep work, writing, or studying. Afternoon block, meetings, creative projects, or financial reviews. Evening block, exercise, family, reading, or reflection. This structure reduces decision fatigue and helps you treat your time as appointments with yourself. 8. The role of rest. Mastering time isn't about cramming more in, it's about using energy wisely. Rest is not wasted time, it's invested time. When you sleep well, you think sharper. When you take breaks, you return stronger. When you schedule time for joy, your discipline becomes sustainable. Remember, even machines need downtime. You're no different. Rest is part of productivity. 9. Stories of Time Mastery. The Entrepreneur. Maria ran a small business but always felt overwhelmed. She worked long hours but saw little progress. Once she started time blocking, focusing mornings on sales and afternoons on strategy, her results exploded. Same hours, different use. The Student. Rahul spent hours studying, but barely retained anything. Then he applied the 80-20th principle to time, studying the 20% of material that mattered most. His grades rose, and he suddenly had time for hobbies. The Professional. Daniel worked in a high-pressure job, constantly pulled into meetings. He began saying no to unimportant meetings and scheduling deep focus hours. His productivity doubled, and his stress dropped. 10. Practical steps to master your time. Audit your hours. Track how you spend your time for 3 days. You'll be shocked at where it goes. Set non-negotiables. Decide what matters most. Family dinner, exercise, reading. Protect these blocks fiercely. Eliminate one time trap. Whether it's social media, overcommitment, or procrastination, cut one thief this week. Use the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Small actions compound. Protect your golden hours. Identify your peak energy times and use them for your most important work. 11. The link between time and the 4 cornerstones. Mouth. Use time to pause before speaking. Measured words prevent regret. Mind. Schedule daily learning. Your thoughts sharpen when you feed your mind. Mood. Invest time in rest and gratitude. Your emotions stabilize. Money. Respect time, and you'll respect money. Wasted hours often lead to wasted dollars. Time connects and empowers all other areas. 12. Your Time Challenge. This week, choose 1 hour each day as your non-negotiable focus hour. Phone off. No interruptions. Just deep, meaningful work. At the end of the week, reflect. How much more did you accomplish in that single focused hour than in all the scattered ones before? 13. Closing thought. Here's the truth. Time is not just money, it's life. Every hour you waste is an hour of your life you can't get back. Every hour you invest is a seed for your future. You don't find time, you make time. You don't manage the clock, you master yourself within the clock. So treat your minutes as gold. Spend them with wisdom. And remember, the way you use your time is the clearest reflection of what you value most. Chapter 10. The Discipline of Reflection. Learning, adapting, and growing forward. Life isn't just about moving forward. It's about pausing, looking back, and understanding where you've been. Imagine driving a car without ever checking your mirrors. You might move fast, but sooner or later, you'd crash. Reflection is those mirrors. It helps you see clearly, avoid mistakes, and steer your life in the right direction. Too many people live in constant motion, always busy, always rushing, always chasing the next thing, without stopping to ask, am I on the right path? Am I becoming who I want to be? This chapter is about the often overlooked discipline of reflection, the practice of learning from the past, adapting in the present, and growing into the future. 1. Why reflection matters. Progress without reflection is like running on a treadmill. You move a lot, but you don't go anywhere. Reflection gives meaning to your experiences. It turns mistakes into lessons, victories into strategies, and challenges into growth. Without it, life repeats itself. You fall into the same traps, make the same poor decisions, and wonder why nothing changes. But with reflection, you break cycles. You see patterns. You connect dots that others miss. You become not just a doer, but a learner, and that's what leads to lasting growth. 2. The 3 questions of reflection. Every reflection session can be boiled down to 3 simple but powerful questions. What happened? Look at the situation objectively. What did you do? What did others do? What were the outcomes? What did I learn? Extract the lessons. Did a mistake reveal a blind spot? Did success show you a repeatable formula? How will I apply it? Knowledge without action is wasted. Decide how the lesson will shape your choices moving forward. These 3 questions are a simple system for turning life's raw data into usable wisdom. 3. Reflection is not regret. Some avoid reflection because they fear it will trap them in regret. But reflection and regret are different. Regret paralyzes. It keeps you stuck in the past. Reflection empowers. It uses the past to improve the future. The key is this: reflection looks back only to move forward. It's not about blaming yourself, it's about bettering yourself. 4. The power of journaling. One of the most effective tools for reflection is journaling. Writing forces you to slow down and think clearly. Daily journal. Write a few sentences each night about what went well and what could improve. Weekly review. Every weekend, review your actions and mindset from the past week. Monthly summary. Summarize the biggest lessons of the month so you can see patterns forming. Over time, your journal becomes a treasure chest of wisdom, proof of your growth and a guide for your decisions. 5. The feedback factor. Reflection isn't just internal, it's also external. Feedback from others can reveal blind spots you can't see on your own. Ask trusted people. What do I do well? Where can I improve? What habits hold me back? This takes humility, but it accelerates growth. Feedback is like holding up a mirror to yourself, sometimes uncomfortable, but always valuable. 6. Stories of reflection. The athlete. After every game, Serena reviewed tapes of her matches. She studied her mistakes, her opponent's moves, and her own strengths. That constant reflection helped her dominate her sport for years. The entrepreneur. Mark launched a business that failed. Instead of quitting, he reflected, what went wrong? Where did I waste money? What could I do differently? His second business thrived, built on the lessons of the first. The student. Leah used to cram for exams but always felt anxious. Then she started weekly reflection. What study habits worked best? What distractions ruined focus? Within months, her grades improved and her stress dropped. 7. The rhythm of reflection. To make reflection effective, build it into your routine. Think of it as part of your rhythm of life. Morning reflection. Set intentions. What kind of person do you want to be today? Evening reflection. Review the day. Did your actions match your intentions? Quarterly reflection. Step back and assess your big goals. Are you closer or further away? When reflection becomes rhythm, growth becomes natural. 8. Reflection and the 4 cornerstones. Reflection ties directly into the 4 cornerstones we've explored. Mouth. Did your words build or break? Reflection helps refine your speech. Mind. What thoughts dominated your week? Reflection teaches you to filter and improve them. Mood. Which emotions guided your actions? Reflection helps you master, not suppress, your feelings. Money. How did you spend or invest? Reflection reveals patterns and mistakes in financial behavior. In short, reflection makes mastery possible. Without it, the cycle repeats. With it, growth compounds. 9. The challenge of stillness. The modern world fears silence. We fill every gap with noise, scrolling, streaming, multitasking. But true reflection requires stillness. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but silence is where wisdom surfaces. Schedule moments of quiet, a morning walk without headphones, 10 minutes of meditation, sitting with a journal in silence. In those moments, the insights you've been too busy to hear finally come through. 10. Practical steps to cultivate reflection. Set a reflection time, even 10 minutes daily. Consistency is more important than length. Use prompts. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? What drained me? What energized me? Capture insights. Write them down. Ideas fade quickly. Record them before they vanish. Apply immediately. Choose one action from each reflection. Even a small change builds momentum. Celebrate growth. Notice how far you've come. Reflection isn't just about fixing mistakes, it's about appreciating progress. 11. The mirror and the window. Think of reflection as both a mirror and a window. The mirror shows you who you are today, your words, thoughts, moods, and habits. The window shows you who you could become, if you learn, adapt, and grow. Both are necessary. The mirror grounds you in truth. The window inspires you with vision. Together, they guide your journey. 12. Closing thought. At the end of your life, you won't regret the times you paused to reflect. You'll regret the times you didn't. The times you rushed ahead without learning, the times you repeated mistakes you could have avoided, the times you stayed the same when you could have grown. Reflection is not wasted time, it's invested time. It's the pause that sharpens the blade, the breath that fuels the run, the silence that gives birth to wisdom. So here's the invitation. Don't just live, reflect, adapt, and live better. When you combine control over your mouth, mind, mood, money, discipline, focus, habits, relationships, time, and reflection, you don't just survive life. You design it. Chapter 11. Saving with Purpose. Saving is more than a financial action. It's a statement of self-discipline, foresight, and control. Every rupee, every dollar, every cent you deliberately set aside is a vote for the future you want to create. Yet, so many people struggle with saving because they approach it without purpose. Saving without intent is like planting seeds in barren soil. You'll never reap the fruits you hope for. Purposeful saving is different. It's intentional, strategic, and aligned with your long-term goals. When you save with purpose, you're not just building a bank balance. You're building freedom, security, and the ability to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. 1. The philosophy of purposeful saving. The first step is understanding why you save. Without a clear reason, saving becomes tedious. But when there is a purpose, whether it's creating an emergency fund, funding education, buying property, or achieving financial independence, it becomes motivating. Purposeful saving transforms restraint into power. Each deposit, no matter how small, reinforces your control over your future. You learn patience, discipline, and the art of delayed gratification, all essential skills not just in finances, but in life. 2. Setting clear goals. Effective saving starts with clarity. Randomly putting money aside rarely leads to meaningful results. Break your goals into categories. Emergency fund. Cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses to protect against uncertainty. Short-term goals. Vacations, courses, or lifestyle upgrades. Long-term goals. Property, retirement, or business ventures. When your savings are tied to specific outcomes, every rupee you put aside gains purpose. Each contribution brings you closer to a life you design consciously. 3. Frameworks for saving. The 50/30/20 rule is a simple yet powerful guideline. 50% of income for necessities. 30% for lifestyle and discretionary spending. 20% for savings and investments. This approach balances living well today while securing your tomorrow. You're not sacrificing enjoyment, you're strategically allocating your resources. 4. Automating your savings. Discipline is essential, but automation ensures consistency. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account. Treat it as a non-negotiable expense. By removing the decision-making process, you reduce the risk of impulse spending and build a habit that grows quietly yet powerfully over time. 5. The psychology of saving. Humans naturally gravitate toward instant gratification. That's why saving often feels difficult. To counteract this, create visual reminders of your progress. Track your account balances. Set visual milestones for goals. Celebrate small achievements. Seeing growth reinforces positive behavior, turning saving from chore into habit. 6. Real-life examples. Priya started by saving $50 monthly toward a professional course. Over 3 years, her disciplined saving, combined with interest compounding, funded her education and career upgrade. Raj saved $10 weekly for emergencies. When a sudden job loss occurred, his savings provided stability and peace of mind. These stories prove that saving, even in small amounts, accumulates into substantial impact over time. 7. Practical steps. Define your goals clearly. Decide a consistent saving amount. Automate transfers. Track progress visually. Adjust periodically to stay aligned with goals. Purposeful saving is about control. You're not restricted, you're empowered. 8. Closing thought. When saving becomes intentional, it evolves from a financial act into a life strategy. Each rupee saved is a step toward freedom, security, and a life designed on your terms. Saving with purpose isn't about deprivation, it's about creating choice, control, and clarity in every aspect of your life. Chapter 12. Investing in your future. Think of your financial journey like building a house. Saving is the foundation, the solid ground that keeps everything standing. But the walls, the roof, and the rooms you live in? That's investing. Saving keeps you safe. Investing allows you to grow, expand, and create the kind of life you've always dreamed of. The truth is, saving alone won't build wealth. Inflation eats away at the value of money sitting idle. What costs $100 today could cost $120 tomorrow, and if your savings aren't growing, you're actually losing ground. That's why investing is not a luxury, it's a necessity. But here's the good news. Investing isn't reserved for Wall Street professionals, financial wizards, or the super-rich. It's for you, me, and anyone willing to learn the principles and apply them with discipline. This chapter is your roadmap to taking your hard-earned money and turning it into a powerful engine for your future. 1. Why invest? The power of growth. If you've ever planted a seed and watched it grow into a tree, you've seen the miracle of compounding in action. You start with something tiny, just a seed, and over time, with care and patience, it multiplies into something strong and fruitful. Money works the same way. When you invest, your money begins to work for you. And when those earnings themselves generate more earnings, your growth becomes exponential. This is compounding, the quiet, steady force that turns small contributions into massive wealth. Imagine two people, Rahul and Ananya. Rahul saves $500 a month but keeps it all in a basic savings account earning 2% interest. Ananya invests the same $500 monthly into a diversified portfolio averaging 8% annually. After 30 years, Rahul has about $243,000. Impressive, right? But Ananya has nearly $745,000. Same money. Same effort. The difference is investing. 2. The mindset shift, from spending to growing. Before you invest, you must shift your mindset. Most people think of money as something to spend. The wealthy think of money as something to grow. They see every dollar, every rupee, every pound as a seed that can multiply. Here's a simple but powerful truth. The money you don't invest today isn't just lost, it's the wealth of tomorrow you've denied yourself. A dollar not invested isn't just $1 gone. It's the $10, $20, or $100 it could have become in the future. Investing requires patience, discipline, and long-term vision. You don't chase quick wins. You build lasting results. 3. The different paths of investing. Let's break down the main ways you can invest and grow your wealth. A. Stocks. When you buy a stock, you're buying ownership in a company. If that company grows, so does your share. Stocks offer some of the highest returns, but they also come with higher risk and short-term volatility. Think of stocks as the growth engine of your portfolio. B. Bonds. Bonds are like loans you give to governments or companies. They pay you interest over time. They're safer than stocks but usually offer lower returns. Bonds are the stability in your portfolio, balancing out the ups and downs of stocks. C. Mutual funds and ETFs. Not sure which stock or bond to pick? That's where mutual funds and ETFs, exchange-traded funds, come in. They pool money from many investors to buy a wide range of stocks or bonds, giving you instant diversification. D. Real estate. Property has always been a wealth-building tool. Whether you rent it out or sell it later at a higher price, real estate provides long-term growth and passive income. E. Retirement accounts. Special accounts like 401(k)s, IRAs, or PPFs, depending on your country, allow you to invest while getting tax benefits. They're powerful tools for building future wealth. 4. The golden rule: diversification. Never put all your eggs in one basket. The market can be unpredictable. A company can fail. A sector can decline. But when you diversify, spreading your investments across different assets, you protect yourself from catastrophic losses. Think of diversification as building a financial safety net. If one part of your portfolio stumbles, others can carry the weight. 5. The importance of time. Here's something most people underestimate. Time matters more than money in investing. If you invest $200 a month starting at age 25, by 65 you'll have around $500,000, assuming 8% annual growth. If you wait until 35 to start and invest the same $200 monthly, you'll only have about $220,000. That's less than half, just because you waited 10 years. The earlier you start, the less you need to contribute, and the more your money multiplies. That's why the best time to start investing is yesterday. The second best time is today. 6. The emotional game of investing. Investing isn't only numbers, it's emotions. Fear and greed are the two biggest enemies of investors. When the market drops, fear makes people sell at the worst possible time. When the market soars, greed makes people chase risky bets. Successful investors don't let emotions dictate decisions. They trust the process, stay consistent, and think long-term. Here's the truth: markets go up and down. That's normal. But historically, over the long run, they trend upward. The key is patience. Don't panic when things dip. Don't chase when things rise. Stick to your plan. 7. Real-life example. Let's revisit Ananya. Remember her consistent investing? Now imagine in year 10, the market crashed. Her portfolio dropped by 30%. She felt sick. Her friends panicked and pulled out their money. But Ananya held firm. She knew the market always recovers. By year 15, not only had her portfolio recovered, but it had doubled. Those who sold during the crash locked in losses. Ananya's patience made her wealth grow. That's the lesson. Markets reward the disciplined. 8. Practical steps to start investing. So, how do you begin? Educate yourself. Read, listen, and learn. Knowledge is your shield against fear and mistakes. Start small. You don't need thousands. Even small amounts, invested consistently, grow massively over time. Automate. Set up automatic monthly contributions. Make investing as routine as paying your bills. Diversify. Spread investments across different assets for safety and growth. Stay consistent. Don't stop, no matter what the market does. Consistency beats timing. Review yearly, adjust if needed, but don't overreact to short-term changes. 9. Common mistakes to avoid. Waiting too long. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Chasing quick gains. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Not diversifying. A single bet can ruin everything. Ignoring fees. High fees eat into returns over time. Stopping during crashes. Crashes are opportunities, not reasons to quit. 10. Closing thought. Plant your tree today. There's an old proverb that says, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." Investing works the same way. The earlier you start, the bigger your tree grows. But even if you didn't start years ago, you can start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. The perfect moment is now. Investing isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about building wealth slowly, steadily, and surely. It's about creating security, freedom, and choices for your future self. So start planting your seeds today. Let your money work as hard as you do. And one day, you'll look back, amazed at the forest you grew, because you had the courage, the vision, and the discipline to invest in your future. Chapter 13. The Psychology of Money. Money is not just math. It's not just numbers, charts, or bank balances. If it were, everyone would be rich, because the math is simple. Spend less, save more, invest wisely, and let compounding do its magic. Yet, most people struggle with money, not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't understand how their mind interacts with money. This is the heart of the psychology of money. It's the unseen force that drives your financial decisions, the habits, emotions, and beliefs that either move you toward freedom or trap you in struggle. In this chapter, we'll uncover how your thoughts and emotions shape your financial reality and how to rewire your money mindset for lasting wealth. 1. Money is emotional, not logical. Think about the last big purchase you made. Did you calculate every detail, weigh all options carefully, and make a purely rational decision? Or did emotion, excitement, desire, fear, or even insecurity play a big role? Most financial decisions are emotional. We buy cars to feel successful, gadgets to feel modern, clothes to feel attractive. We spend money to soothe stress, reward ourselves, or impress others. This is why people who know better still overspend, fall into debt, or fail to save. It's not ignorance, it's emotion. Until you learn to master your emotions around money, the numbers will never add up. 2. Your money story. Everyone has a money story. It's the set of beliefs you absorbed growing up. Maybe your parents always said, "Money doesn't grow on trees." Maybe you heard, "Rich people are greedy." Or perhaps you were told, "We can't afford that." These beliefs sink deep into your subconscious and drive your behavior as an adult. If you were taught that money is scarce, you might hoard it or fear investing. If you were taught that money is evil, you might sabotage your own financial growth to stay good. Your first step is to uncover your money story. Ask yourself, what did I learn about money as a child? What emotions do I feel when I think about money? Are these beliefs helping me or holding me back? When you rewrite your money story, you free yourself to create wealth on your own terms. 3. The scarcity versus abundance mindset. At the root of money psychology are two opposing mindsets, scarcity and abundance. Scarcity mindset says, "There's never enough. If someone else wins, I lose. I'll never have enough money, time, or opportunity." Abundance mindset says, "There's plenty to go around. I can create opportunities. I can grow my wealth without taking away from others." Scarcity creates fear, jealousy, and short-term thinking. Abundance creates confidence, generosity, and long-term planning. For example, a scarcity-minded person may refuse to invest, fearing loss. An abundance-minded person invests consistently, trusting growth over time. The difference in outcomes is massive. 4. Instant gratification versus long-term rewards. One of the greatest battles in money psychology is between instant gratification and delayed gratification. Imagine two scenarios. You see a new phone and buy it immediately, even if it means draining your savings. Or you wait, invest that money, and allow it to grow, buying not just one phone later but funding bigger dreams. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of financial success. Those who can resist short-term temptations for long-term rewards build lasting wealth. Ask yourself, do I want this now, or do I want freedom later? Often, the choice you make in those small moments determines the life you'll live. 5. Fear and greed, the two enemies of wealth. If money were a game, the two main opponents would be fear and greed. Fear makes you avoid investing, hold on to cash, or panic when markets dip. Greed makes you chase risky investments, overspend to impress, or fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Successful wealth builders learn to quiet both. They make decisions based not on emotions but on strategy and discipline. The lesson? When fear whispers, "Don't risk it," and greed shouts, "Take everything now," your job is to pause, breathe, and follow your plan. 6. Social comparison and the trap of lifestyle inflation. One of the biggest psychological traps of money is comparison. You see your friend buy a new car, and suddenly your perfectly fine car feels inadequate. You scroll through social media, where everyone seems richer, happier, and more successful, and you feel behind. This pressure often leads to lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, so does your spending. Instead of saving and investing more, you upgrade your house, your wardrobe, your vacations. On the outside, it looks like progress. On the inside, your wealth isn't growing at all. Remember, true wealth is not about what people see. It's about what you build quietly, consistently, and with purpose. 7. The role of identity. Here's a powerful truth. People act in alignment with who they believe they are. If you see yourself as bad with money, you'll unconsciously prove yourself right. If you see yourself as someone who never saves, you won't. But when you shift your identity to, "I am a disciplined investor. I am a wise steward of money. I am building wealth for my family," your actions start to match that belief. Wealth begins not with your wallet, but with your identity. 8. Real-life story. Two brothers. Consider the story of two brothers, Arjun and Varun. Both earned similar incomes. Arjun believed money was scarce and that the rich always take from the poor. He spent quickly, avoided investing, and lived paycheck to paycheck. Varun, on the other hand, believed money was a tool, a servant, not a master. He saved, invested, and lived below his means. Fast forward 20 years. Arjun was still working tirelessly, stressed about bills. Varun had built enough wealth to choose how he wanted to spend his time. Same income, different psychology, different life. 9. Rewiring your money mindset. So how do you change your money psychology? Here are some practical steps. Awareness. Identify your money story. Recognize the beliefs you inherited. Challenge. Ask, is this belief serving me or sabotaging me? Reframe. Replace scarcity with abundance. Instead of, "I can't afford this," ask, "How can I afford this?" Practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to sufficiency. It helps you feel wealthy even as you grow your financial base. Surround yourself with the right voices. The people you spend time with influence your money mindset. Surround yourself with those who inspire growth, not fear. 10. Practical habits for money success. Pay yourself first. Save before you spend. Even 10% of your income builds discipline. Invest consistently. Don't wait for the perfect time. Small, Regular investments beat irregular, large ones. Avoid comparison. Measure progress against your past self, not others. Stay educated. Knowledge reduces fear and increases confidence. Celebrate progress. Every small financial win deserves acknowledgement. It reinforces your new identity. Chapter 14. Mindful Spending. Money flows in two directions. It comes in and it goes out. We've already talked about saving, investing, and the psychology behind money. But here's a truth most people overlook. No matter how much you earn, if you don't master your spending, you will never feel truly wealthy. Think about it. How many people do you know who make great money but are constantly stressed about bills? And how many people earn modest incomes yet live with peace, freedom, and even abundance? The difference isn't always the income, it's how they spend. This is where mindful spending comes in. Mindful spending is not about depriving yourself. It's not about being stingy or hoarding every penny. It's about making conscious choices, spending money in a way that aligns with your values, goals, and long-term vision for life. When you spend mindfully, every rupee or dollar you spend brings you joy, meaning, or progress. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is automatic. And that creates not only financial freedom, but also emotional freedom. 1. What is mindful spending? At its core, mindful spending means being intentional with your money. Instead of swiping your card or clicking buy now without thinking, you pause and ask, does this purchase bring me closer to my goals? Does it align with my values? Will this matter to me a month or a year from now? Mindless spending is reactive. Mindful spending is proactive. It's the difference between letting money control you and using money as a tool to build your best life. 2. Needs versus wants. One of the simplest ways to practice mindful spending is to separate needs from wants. Needs are essentials: housing, food, healthcare, transportation. Wants are desires: luxury items, gadgets, dining out, entertainment. The problem isn't wants. There's nothing wrong with enjoying life. The problem is when wants consume so much that you can't meet your goals. Mindful spending doesn't eliminate wants. It helps you prioritize them. You choose the wants that truly enrich your life, and you let go of the ones that drain your wallet without adding real value. 3. The latte lesson. You've probably heard the phrase, "Stop buying lattes if you want to get rich." Some financial gurus blame small pleasures for people's financial struggles. But the truth is, it's not about the coffee. It's about alignment. If that daily latte genuinely brings you joy, connection, or energy, and it fits your budget, it's worth it. But if you're buying it mindlessly, out of habit, and later regretting the expense, then it's a problem. Mindful spending doesn't ask you to cut everything. It asks you to choose wisely. Keep the expenses that light up your life. Cut the ones that don't. 4. Emotional triggers and spending. Many people spend not because they need something, but because they're chasing a feeling. Shopping becomes a way to relieve stress, cure boredom, or boost self-esteem. This is called emotional spending. And while it feels good in the moment, it often leads to guilt, regret, and financial strain. To counter emotional spending, pause before buying. Ask yourself, am I buying this because I need it, or because I feel a certain way? Will this purchase solve the real problem I'm facing? Can I meet that need in a healthier, cheaper way? Often, a walk, a workout, or a conversation with a friend is more fulfilling than a shopping spree. 5. Aligning spending with values. Here's the secret. Mindful spending isn't about restriction. It's about alignment. For example, if family is your highest value, then spending money on experiences with loved ones may bring you deep joy, while buying expensive status items may not. If personal growth is important to you, then investing in courses, books, or coaching is aligned, while endless streaming subscriptions may not be. When you align spending with your values, you feel good about where your money goes. You're not just consuming, you're creating a life that reflects who you are. 6. The power of awareness. Most people don't realize where their money goes. They know what they earn, but not how they spend. That's why awareness is step 1. Track your spending for 30 days. Write down every rupee, every dollar. You'll be surprised at the leaks you find. Subscriptions you forgot, impulse buys you didn't need, meals you didn't even enjoy. Awareness alone often changes behavior. When you see the truth on paper, you naturally start making better choices. 7. Practical tools for mindful spending. Here are some strategies to help you practice mindful spending daily. The 24-hour rule. Before making non-essential purchases, wait 24 hours. Most impulses fade. Cash-only method. Use cash for discretionary spending. When the cash is gone, you stop. Budget by priorities. Instead of limiting everything, assign more money to what you value most and cut the rest. Zero-based budgeting. Give every dollar or rupee a job, so none is wasted. Envelope system. Put spending categories in separate envelopes. When it's empty, it's done. 8. Real-life story. Meet Kavita. She earned well but always felt broke. After tracking her spending, she realized thousands were leaking away on food delivery apps, shopping discounts, and subscriptions she rarely used. None of it made her truly happy. She shifted her spending. She still ate out occasionally, but she cooked more, invested in a fitness class she loved, and started saving for travel, her true passion. Within a year, her finances improved dramatically, and so did her happiness. Kavita didn't spend less. She spent differently. She spent mindfully. 9. The long-term impact of mindful spending. Here's what happens when you practice mindful spending. You save more without feeling deprived. You invest more because you waste less. You experience more joy because your spending aligns with your values. You gain confidence and peace, knowing you're in control. Mindful spending is not a one-time fix, it's a lifelong practice. Each purchase becomes a choice that either supports your freedom or steals from it. Chapter 15. Consistency is key. Think about the greatest transformations in life. Whether it's building wealth, getting fit, mastering a skill, or deepening relationships, none of them happen overnight. They don't come from a single decision or a moment of inspiration. They come from something far more powerful and far less glamorous: consistency. Consistency is the secret sauce. It's the daily habits, the repeated actions, the steady rhythm that compounds into extraordinary results over time. If you've ever wondered why some people achieve greatness while others with equal talent and opportunity do not, the answer is often simple: consistency. Not bursts of effort. Not occasional motivation. But showing up again and again, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when the results are not immediate. 1. Why consistency matters. Here's the truth. Success is not built on intensity, it's built on consistency. Imagine brushing your teeth. You don't do it once a year for an hour and expect healthy teeth. You do it every day, twice a day, for a few minutes. The power lies in repetition, not in occasional intensity. The same goes for money, fitness, relationships, and personal growth. Saving 500 Indian rupees a week doesn't sound impressive, but do it for years, and it turns into financial security. Exercising for 20 minutes daily may not feel dramatic, but over time, it transforms your body and energy. Consistency turns ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. 2. The compound effect. One of the greatest miracles of life is the compound effect. Tiny, consistent actions multiply over time. Read 10 pages a day, and you finish 12 books a year. Invest regularly, and compounding interest grows your wealth exponentially. Practice a skill daily, and in a few years, you'll be unrecognizable compared to when you started. The problem is, People underestimate small steps. They want instant results. But success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And the compound effect rewards those who keep moving, even when the progress feels invisible. 3. Consistency versus motivation. Motivation feels good. It gets you started. But motivation is temporary. It rises and falls with your mood. Consistency doesn't care about motivation. It shows up regardless. That's why habits are more powerful than willpower. When you build systems and routines, you don't rely on fleeting motivation. You rely on structure. Think of an athlete. They don't wake up every day motivated to train. But they do it anyway because it's part of who they are. That's the essence of consistency. Doing the work even when you don't feel like it. 4. Barriers to consistency. If consistency is so powerful, why do so many people struggle with it? Let's look at the common barriers. Perfectionism. Waiting for the perfect time, plan, or feeling before taking action. Impatience. Wanting results too fast, then quitting when progress is slow. Distractions. Letting short-term pleasures steal focus from long-term goals. Overcommitment. Trying to do too much at once, then burning out. The solution. Start small. Focus on progress, not perfection. Build consistency in one area at a time. 5. The power of small wins. Consistency isn't about giant leaps. It's about small, steady steps. And those steps create small wins. Small wins matter because they build momentum. They prove to your brain that you're capable. They create a chain of success that motivates you to keep going. For example, if you want to save money, start with 100 Indian rupees a week. If you want to get fit, start with 10 minutes of exercise. If you want to write a book, start with 1 paragraph a day. Over time, small wins stack up into massive victories. 6. Consistency in money. Let's bring this back to finances. People often think wealth is built by one big opportunity, a lottery win, a jackpot investment, a massive raise. But real wealth is built through consistent, disciplined action. Saving regularly, no matter how small. Investing monthly, regardless of market conditions. Avoiding unnecessary debt consistently, not just once in a while. It's not what you do occasionally with your money. It's what you do consistently that defines your financial future. 7. Consistency in mindset. Consistency also applies to your thoughts. You can't just think positively once in a while and expect transformation. You need to consistently challenge negative thoughts, practice gratitude, and focus on growth. Your mindset shapes your reality, but only if you feed it daily. Consistent mental discipline creates lasting inner strength. 8. Consistency in mood and emotions. Your emotions will fluctuate. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, other days you'll feel tired or doubtful. But consistency means not letting emotions dictate your actions. Show up anyway. Stick to the plan anyway. By doing so, you train your emotions to follow your discipline, instead of letting discipline follow your emotions. 9. Building systems for consistency. So how do you actually stay consistent? Here are some practical tools. Set clear goals. Know what you're aiming for. Specificity fuels consistency. Create routines. Attach habits to daily triggers, like reading after breakfast or exercising after work. Track progress. Use journals, apps, or calendars to see your streaks. Visual progress builds motivation. Accountability. Share your goals with a friend, mentor, or community. Accountability drives commitment. Forgive slip UPS. Perfection isn't required. Progress is. If you stumble, get back up immediately. 10. A real-life example. Take Ramesh. He wanted to lose weight and improve his finances. At first, he tried extreme diets and strict budgeting, but he burned out. Then he switched to consistency. He committed to walking 30 minutes a day and saving just 10% of his income. At first, it felt slow. But after a year, he was 10 kilos lighter, had a growing investment account, and felt more confident. Ramesh didn't transform his life with intensity. He did it with consistency. 11. The ripple effect. Here's the beauty of consistency. It spills into every area of life. When you prove to yourself that you can stay consistent in one area, you build confidence to apply it elsewhere. Consistently exercising strengthens your discipline to consistently save money. Consistently learning builds the focus to consistently invest. It all connects. 12. Final word, the magic of ordinary days. Here's the truth you need to carry with you. Greatness is hidden in ordinary days. The ordinary days when you choose discipline over distraction, savings over impulse, growth over comfort. It's not the extraordinary moments that define your life. It's the ordinary ones, repeated consistently, that shape who you become. So don't wait for motivation. Don't chase perfection. Start small. Stay steady. Keep showing up. Because in the end, it's not the person who works the hardest for a week who wins. It's the person who stays consistent for a lifetime. Consistency is not just a habit. It's your key to transformation. And it's in your hands, starting right now. Conclusion. Becoming the master of your life. You've made it. You've journeyed through this entire audiobook, from controlling your mouth to mastering your mind, your mood, your money, and all the disciplines in between. That alone says something powerful about you. It says you're serious about growth. You're not just here to listen, you're here to transform. So let's pause for a moment and reflect. What have we really been learning here? It's not just about controlling words, thoughts, emotions, or finances. It's about becoming the kind of person who lives with intention. Because when you live with intention, you no longer drift through life. You steer. You direct. You create. 1. The 4 Pillars Revisited. Let's revisit the foundation of this book, the 4 Pillars of Mastery. Your mouth. Every word you speak can either build or break, heal or hurt, inspire or destroy. By controlling your mouth, you take command of your relationships, your reputation, and your influence. Words are seeds. Plant them wisely. Your mind. Your thoughts shape your reality. A disciplined, focused mind turns obstacles into opportunities and doubts into determination. Controlling your mind isn't about never having negative thoughts. It's about mastering the dialogue inside so it works for you, not against you. Your mood. Emotions are powerful energy. When you master them, you don't suppress them. You direct them. Anger becomes fuel for change. Sadness becomes empathy. Joy becomes gratitude. Controlling your mood means you act from strength, not from impulse. Your money. Money is a tool, nothing more and nothing less. If you master it, it becomes a servant that builds freedom, opportunities, and peace. If you ignore it, it quietly becomes your master. By saving with purpose, investing with wisdom, and spending mindfully, you build a life of freedom instead of bondage. These 4 are connected. Control one, and the others strengthen. Neglect one, and the others weaken. Together, they form the foundation of a disciplined, empowered, and purposeful life. 2. The thread that runs through it all. If you look closely, you'll notice a single thread running through every chapter: self-mastery. Control is not about dominating others or controlling circumstances. True control is about mastering yourself, your words, your thoughts, your emotions, your choices. Because the world will always bring challenges. People will test your patience. Circumstances will trigger your emotions. The economy will rise and fall. But if you master yourself, none of these can shake your foundation. The secret is not out there, it's within you. 3. Small steps, big transformation. One of the biggest lies people believe is that change must be massive, dramatic, and immediate. That's why so many quit. They expect overnight transformation, and when it doesn't come, they give up. But you've learned the truth here. Transformation is built on small, consistent steps. The power of a kind word. The discipline of a single thought. The pause before an emotional reaction. The choice to save instead of splurge. Each small step compounds. Each small choice becomes a brick in the foundation of your best life. 4. The role of self-discipline and consistency. If there are two qualities that will carry you beyond this audiobook, it's these: self-discipline and consistency. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is doing it again and again, even when progress is invisible. Together, they make you unstoppable. They turn goals into habits, and habits into destiny. 5. The freedom that follows. Some people fear the idea of control. They think discipline feels like restriction. But the opposite is true. When you control your mouth, you gain freedom from regret. When you control your mind, you gain freedom from confusion. When you control your mood, you gain freedom from emotional chaos. When you control your money, you gain freedom from financial stress. Control is not about losing freedom. It's about creating it. 6. A vision for your life. So let me ask you, what vision do you have for your life? Do you want to be the kind of person who speaks with power, thinks with clarity, lives with peace, and builds lasting wealth? Do you want to be someone who not only survives challenges but thrives through them? If so, then your path is clear. Keep practicing what you've learned here. Don't just hear these words. Live them. Apply them. One day at a time. One choice at a time. 7. The legacy you leave. Ultimately, this isn't just about your life, it's about your legacy. The words you speak will echo in the lives of your children, your friends, your community. The thoughts you nurture will shape your character. The emotions you master will determine the atmosphere you bring to every room. The money you manage will provide opportunities for generations. By mastering yourself, you leave behind more than wealth. You leave behind wisdom, strength, and example. 8. Final challenge. So here's my final challenge to you. Don't let this audiobook be just another thing you consumed. Let it be a turning point. Take one lesson, just one, and apply it today. Speak one kind word. Redirect one negative thought. Pause before one emotional reaction. Save one extra dollar. Start small. But start now. Because control is not something you achieve once. It's something you practice daily. And with each day, you become stronger, clearer, freer. Closing words. You hold incredible power. The power to shape your words, direct your mind, channel your emotions, and design your financial destiny. Most people drift through life unaware of this power. But not you. You're awake. You're aware. And now you're equipped. So go forward boldly. Speak with purpose. Think with clarity. Live with balance. Build with discipline. And most of all, stay consistent. Because the best version of you is not waiting somewhere in the future. It's being built right now, in every choice you make. This is your moment. This is your life. Take control and never look back.